The biggest surprises you found out?
One of our biggest surprises was that I had a relative who didn't feel he should be limited to one wife at a time. And so that just greatly enhanced our family tree by several branches.
Several branches, yeah, it was a really big tree.
Well, when you start shaking the branches of your family tree, you never know what you'll find. I recently sent my swab to Houston-based Family Tree DNA, and the results are in. We'll find out who I am in a few minutes. But first, I sat down with genealogist Mary Tedesco, host of the Genealogy Roadshow, and Katherine Borges, director of the International Society of Genetic Genealogy. They were in town recently for an event with Daughters of the American Revolution. Both say the perfect place to start your genealogy search is with your oldest living family members. DNA can tell what you are, but family members can also explain why you are.
Deborah, the holidays are a great time to get started with family history because gathered around the Thanksgiving or holiday table, you have older relatives and cousins that you might not see all the time. You want to ask these folks, you know, what were the names of your grandparents, your great-grandparents? Where were they born? Where did they live? You know, something about their lives. I usually tell people you don't need any, expensive equipment. All you need to do is hit record on your cell phone, record these stories, document them, and then use them to start researching your genealogy because you want a good tree to start with, as good as you can get it, and then start researching those ancestors one at a time.
Even how you celebrate holidays can give you some clues, right?
Correct. So Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, and they also, during the holidays is when the DNA companies usually have their tests go on sale, so that's often a great gift to give at that time.
Yeah.
I'll be at my holiday swabbing family members.
Obviously, websites, DNA, Facebook. Facebook has connected so many people.
Facebook has, I think, I don't know, over 1 million, I don't know what the statistic is, maybe 15 million genealogy Facebook pages and groups, etc. You want to get linked into the background, the ethnicity that you are. There's probably a Facebook group for almost every state and maybe every county in the United States. So I tell people to go local. Find those local experts, ask them, say, I'm researching the Smith family from, whatever county you are, and really get insight into that because it's so much of a greater community, and you find camaraderie, you find people to kind of feed along your genealogy addiction, and it gets fun, and it becomes the hobby of a lifetime.
All right, DNA. Some people think that's the end all. That is it right there. And DNA can tell us a lot, but in particular, some of the things that we're taking to find our genealogy don't really tell us the whole story. What things we need to keep in mind when we take those DNA tests?
I would say some of the main points is that all of the DNA companies have different reference databases that are proprietary. And one of the reasons too that it's like that is because that's their asset. So for the most part, you might have the same results across the companies broadly, but some of the companies will show things that other companies don't. So say if you have that elusive Native American ancestor, like I think you do.
Which apparently my sister got, but I didn't.
Right. Oh, no, that's not unusual because the thing is, even though you get 50% of your DNA from your mother and 50 from your father, your ancestry doesn't inherit down like that. So yes, a Native American could show in your sister, and it might not show in you.
With that said, does it pay to basically do different DNA tests from different companies?
Most definitely.
Okay.
And test your whole family.
And test your whole family, exactly. Well, I'll do it right now.
Wonderful. I just happen to have a DNA test right here.
Right. You just happen to have one with you. Right. And while I'm doing that,
swab.
Okay, swab both sides.
Yeah,
okay.
and the inside of your cheeks.
While I'm doing that, the other thing is that sometimes people need to be prepared for what they find out.
Yes.
Especially in previous decades or, certainly at the turn of the century. There you go.
Thank you.
There were families that when parents passed away or before there was a CPS system, if you will, someone would just take a child into their family and raise them as if it was their own. And that sometimes you can find out stories of times when people really aren't who they thought they were inside that family unit.
Right.
What's your best advice for information we get that goes against the grain of what we've always been taught and how we handle that?
Deborah, that's an excellent question, and it comes up a lot more often than you might think. I like to tell people to always have a heart and be sensitive to who that person is and just meet them where they're at. Sometimes you may have to have 2 or 3 discussions in order to reveal, difficult information, but always meet them where they are and be sensitive to their potential reactions. And it could be, even if it's 100 years old, people could be very hurt by the information. So I always say approach it sensitively and with the utmost respect to the individual.
when we come back. So what am I? And what exactly do these DNA companies look at to determine what part of the world you come from and who you're related to? We'll answer that question when we come back.